What's up, y'all? This is Black's Genesis Podcast 1001. Before we get started, like, comment, share, subscribe. Your grandma is going to want to see this podcast after church. Show it to her ass. It's going to get funny. We have in the building today for another episode, Sinitra.
It's Sinitria, and my name is Sunnii.
We have Sunnii in the building, everybody.
Okay, cool, yeah. Pull your ass through your mouth.
Sunnii, I didn't wear no makeup today. You don't have no makeup on, right?
You know damn well I don't got no makeup. I got some lip gloss on.
Yeah, me too. Your skin is flawless. It's flawless.
You think so? I
really do think
yours
so.
Is beautiful.
Is it?
I told you glowing.
Really?
That's that dick. I know it is.
It's not just the dick. I'm being loved right.
Oh!
Yeah,
I love that. I
I'm
love
being
that. I love
loved
that.
right.
As you should.
I love him.
I love that.
Today's episode, we're going to be talking about generational trauma.
Lord.
It's going to get real. That's why we ain't got our makeup on today.
Oof.
I left my girdle at home because when I cry and shit, my stomach be moving like. Are you ready, Sunnii, for this?
No, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not.
Yeah.
But let's talk. Let's do it.
Generational trauma, we all experience it. It's something that is inevitable. It's something that is in every family, regardless of race, culture, all that. And we're in a new generation now of healing and, going to therapy and talking about our problems and shit like that. And so for today, I'm going to be your motherfucking therapist, Sunnii.
Oh, Jesus.
And we're going to help each other. Okay.
Yeah.
First question, because a lot of these questions are going to be in reference to our mother wounds. We talk a lot outside of this podcast. We're friends in real life. And we talk about just the woes that we have with our relationships with our mothers. And a lot of times it's very similar. And I just wanted to talk about why that happens, because when I talk to other friends and we dive into mother-daughter relationships, it's hectic a lot of times. And so I just want to dive into that. So the first question is, what's the first word that comes to mind when you think of your relationship with your mother?
Oof.
Yeah, it's going to get deep.
I don't even think I have a specific word for it, but I do have an experience for it.
Okay.
Like imagine Peter walking to Jesus on the water, but just continuously going down. I don't know if that makes sense.
Wait, let me think about that.
When I think of it, that's how I look at it. It's like
so you're sinking.
Yeah.
And you're shrinking.
Yeah.
And you're drowning.
I don't know if that was going to make sense. It's like, imagine thinking you're walking towards your hero, but at the same time, you're continuously sinking. Yeah.
Wow. So like, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, is the water, because, if, a big body of water, if you're sinking in it, it's encompassing you. It's a big ass body of water. I wonder if that water is a representation of her personality or the things that she's done.
It definitely is.
Or okay,
it definitely is. It's these things that have engulfed me. And I feel like for me to be able to stay afloat, I have to separate myself.
Yeah,
I have to separate myself from her. I have to separate myself from things that have been instilled in me that have, curated my insecurities, have curated just overall how I see the world.
What does generational trauma mean to you, and how do you see it showing up in your family or just families in general?
Generational trauma to me is, first and foremost, this might sound crazy, ass whoopings.
Yeah.
Ass whoopings, I feel like, is a generational trauma.
Yeah. Wow.
Going back to what I stated, how I see the world, how that is instilled in me. Education is definitely a generational trauma for African Americans.
Yeah.
I feel like, what our foundations, our environments, you know, that can keep us from being our best selves. And then imagine our parents also, you know, going to school, already not being taken care of and within your education because you have a teacher that looks at you because I'm not saying this is all teachers, but I have been in some schools where because it was mostly black kids, they weren't taken care of. Yeah. It was other kids around us that were taken care of. Yeah. Then you go home to parents that don't have the best education. Yeah. And it's like, where am I learning from? So where do we turn to? Yeah. But in our day, we didn't necessarily have social media. We just had media. So it's like you have all these things that's teaching us, but it's like, are we actually getting the foundation of a good education, if that makes sense? Yeah. So I feel like education is definitely generational trauma.
Lack of education.
Yes, lack of education. I also feel like, the little things that Black families, not just Black families, like all cultures sweep under the rug. Oh yeah, you know what we're talking about.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Definitely trauma and the insecurities of our parents that is placed on us definitely is generational trauma as well.
To piggyback on what you said, the ass whoopings. I'm gonna try not to make this funny because we have a habit of doing that. Yeah. But it's serious.
It's serious.
And I was having a conversation with my husband recently. Because we were talking about just the way we grew up, and we talk all the time about whether or not we're gonna whoop our kids, because I love my daughter, but sometimes she's a handful. But I be like, I can't hit her. I cannot whoop her. Yeah. Because I know what that did to me. And he's like, some kids need whoopings, and I'm like, no kid needs a whooping. No kid needs that's just facts. No kid needs a whooping. There are other ways to discipline your child. And when I was growing up, I got fucked up. And I think the reason kids don't need whoopings because it's like there is no happy medium. There is no soft way to whoop a kid. There is no, you know what I'm saying? Like there's no way to like do it lightly. And I think about how normalized whoopings are in the Black family. It's
and we know exactly where it comes from.
Because we don't know, of course we do. And we don't know to the extent of when it's considered abuse, and that's a problem. Because first and foremost, it's abuse from the beginning.
It's abuse. There's no reason why you should be beating a fucking child or even a teenager with a fucking stitching cord. You're that mad that you didn't go get a belt, bitch. You got something from your computer, wrap that shit around your hand and start. That's insane to me.
But you see how you said you didn't even go and get a belt, as if a belt is much better or at least less worse than.
Well, I'm saying, you know I'm saying why and what's in your mind? Because here's my thing, I do believe in you spare the rod, you spoil the child, but I also believe that's for a lot of things.
Yeah, for sure.
It goes back to teaching your child correctly. All these things, helping them like process their insecurities.
Yeah,
because
sure.
we're all going to be insecure about something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's going back to that. And that's why I say you spare the rod, you spoil the child. And that's a meaning for a lot of different things.
Yeah, for sure.
Not just by whoopings. Yeah. So I do believe in certain specific children do deserve certain specific punishments, but I don't believe in beating your child.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't believe, like, if you see something and they know better, simple. You don't have to go out of bounds when it comes to discipline a child. That's what I'm going to.
What's out of bounds? Because some people will say even that is too much. When I think about, and I'm going to give you my example. When I was growing up, like I said, I got fucked up. If you ask me right now, was my grandmother an abuser? I would be like, no. Yeah. No. Because in my head, an abuser is like, if you're hitting the child with your fist and stuff like
That's
that.
insane.
But I got fucked up with extension cords.
That's crazy to me.
Ritually. I always got fucked up with an extension. She didn't use belts.
That's insane.
She used extension cords.
But
then
your
when
grandmother
I was
or your mother?
My grandmother.
Okay.
But when I was with my mom would punch us dead in our chest.
Yeah.
Closed fists. And you see my mom.
Uh-huh.
She's a big girl. A heavy-handed girl. You know what I mean? But in my head, that was abuse. What my grandmother did wasn't abuse, but that's abuse. But you see how warped our perception is? Because abuse is abuse. You know what I mean? There is no, like, even the tap on the hand. Like, for what? You know what I mean? Like, there
but
are
that's the
other
difference.
ways
See, I think that's, I guess I look at it as, okay, I can understand where you're coming from.
You know
there
what I
are
mean?
levels to abuse, but I think I look at that as, that's more deserving. Like you understand, don't do that. Because I've had where I've had to discipline my nephew. Hey, don't do that. And he, yes ma'am. He didn't even cry because it's like, don't do that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But there's been times where I would purposely go get a belt and wrap it knowing I'm not finna hit him. Right. And he, so, no, I'm serious. So it was to instill like being fear, basically. Yeah. So I feel like we know the difference. Like they come here. Don't be doing that.
But when you're a little kid, it starts off as hand taps. And then as you get older and the behavior worsens, because kids are going to be kids.
Kids are going to be kids.
And, kids don't listen most times, sometimes. And, kids might get bad grades at school. They acting up in school. They, not listening as far as like you tell them don't do something. They go and do the shit anyway. It starts off as this. As they get older, this don't work anymore. So then you have to graduate to stricter means of chastising. And at what point are we considering it abuse, and what point are we not considering it abuse?
I think we know what abuse is. I genuinely feel like we know the fine line of abuse. Like me, but it might just be me because like you said, everybody has their own definition of abuse. Yeah. I don't think it's abuse to be like, okay, you're like, and it's going back to you're older now. Yeah. Come on. You already know. Discipline. If you initiate a talk, this is why this is happening. Yeah. Turn around. 1, 2, 3. Now you turn around. I'm for real. Because I feel like
that's still abuse.
It's not abuse to me.
That's still
not
abuse.
That's not abuse.
That's still abuse.
No, it's not. Okay.
Striking your child physically is abuse.
Okay, you can say that. You can say that. No. I'm saying you can say that, but I feel like we know what abuse is.
Yeah, right. But this is a healthy conversation because in the Black community, I'm not gonna lie, I'm saying it's abuse because I want to put it on paper. This is the black and white of it. When you strike your kid, that is abuse. Okay. However, I grew up getting fucked up, but I won't be like, oh, I got abused because I'm like you. I grew up in a Black family. Whoopings
but
are
you
not
did get abused though.
Okay,
I'm gonna contradict myself only because.
I'm about to say you are contradicting yourself. I just told you.
Oh, baby, I'm the biggest hypocrite of 2020. I am because this is me being honest. I say that because there was no reason because when it came to them lashings. Oh, I sound like I'm from 1800s. When it came to them lashings, okay, was it always just your butt with a fucking stitching cord?
Yeah, but when you getting your ass beat, you moving and shit, so they don't hit other shit. Because they gonna follow you.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, but it wasn't always your butt, right? It was
everywhere.
That's what I'm saying. There's a difference because it's like, granted, yeah, you're gonna move. One thing I will say, when it came to butt whoopings from certain people in my family, like for instance, one of my aunts, she told us, hey, touch the thing. Okay. Whop. You gonna move. She's not gonna hit you again. Okay, I'll let you get that. Turn around. Whop. You gonna do the little thing because it hurt. So there's a difference in that type of whooping because it's like I have to discipline you and I know that hurts. but it never went past 4 licks versus get your motherfucking wrapping it up. Like, why are you taking off your clothes, changing it? It's not funny, nigga. Because why are you taking off your clothes, changing it to fucking gym attire to beat my ass? Bitch, you don't never work out. Now all of a sudden you want to work. That's not funny because I'm not trying to be funny. But that's why I said, granted, you're correct.
Yeah.
It is considered abuse.
Yeah.
But I know there's a difference in how to whoop a child versus, bitch, this is fucking abuse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why are you, like I said, why are you changing into gym clothes to whoop my ass? Then you don't even go get the belt, which you're supposed to, whatever it is, a paddle or whatever, to chastise me with. You go in there and get a motherfucking stitching cord that you know could turn to my fucking skin, that could leave me bloody. And not only that, you're not even trying to aim for my butt. You take my hand. Oh, bitch, not me. Damn.
You having a flashback?
Yeah, that's sad. That's not funny though. It's sad.
It is sad.
Not only that, there have been points where if I move or I run, you have grabbed me, put me on the floor, and put your motherfucking foot on my neck. Yeah. I'm not gonna say who.
Yeah.
And to hold me in place, to whoop me.
Yeah.
And not only that, you're not trying to hit my butt, you hitting everything on me.
Yeah.
And I had to wear long sleeve to fucking school to hide these lashings.
Yeah.
That's why I said there's a difference between specific abuse. You there's a way to discipline your child if you have to. Because I believe, I don't care what nobody say, I believe in gentle parenting because I feel that like the human experience is you need to understand me. There's a way that I could communicate for you to understand me. There's been so many times where my nephew has gotten me to the point of like, bro, you finna piss me the fuck off. I'm serious.
Right, no, for real.
Like, the other day, I said, bro, you finna piss me off. He said, you pissing me off. You laughing, but that little boy told me, you pissing me off. I said, hey, don't ever. But here, and it goes back to what I said.
Right.
That anybody else hearing that, knowing that this is a fucking 6-year-old child.
Yeah.
He said that because he worked. What?
Yeah.
He's repeating what you just said to him.
Right.
What I said, it was funny, but I was like, hey.
Yeah.
The one thing, and it goes back to what I say when it comes to gentle parenting, whether you see it as that or not. I said, hey, don't you ever say that to me ever again. Mm-hmm. He was like, oh, I'm sorry, but you can't say that to me either. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that was a clear sign of communication. I said, okay, I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Mm-hmm. He went back in there and playing the motherfucking game. So like, that's what I'm saying. Children understand, they do. Now, do sometimes they be like, man, I don't give a fuck. I'm a child. They do.
So if children understand, why isn't communication
enough?
More of a disciplinary action?
That's what I just said. That's what I just said.
You know?
That's why I feel like children are going to go past that sometimes. I was a child. You was a child. We went past that sometimes because sometimes we just did not give a fuck. So I feel like
I don't know. I don't think I went past that. I went past that.
Then you gonna pass it now.
Listen, when I was getting fucked up, I think it was just a clear reflection of my parents not having enough patience to talk to me. And that's because I've always been very understanding.
That's true. And that shit is sad.
Yeah.
Because I've never understood if you saw me draw on the wall at fucking, 6 or 7, why are you beating my ass like that? But it comes back to, if somebody is tired and coming home, they're not taking that in consideration. Like, they probably just had one hell of a day and they want to take it out on you.
Yeah.
And that's where I will draw the line at that.
Yeah.
You don't have enough consideration and patience to be like, bitch, this is a child.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You act like paint ain't fucking at that time we was growing up fucking $5-6. Yeah. You can get some paint and go back over there, sit me down. Don't you ever do that again. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because granted, I don't like the whole instill fear, but I'm gonna fear you. I'm like, oh shit, but she ain't playing, bitch. Ooh. You know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, oh shit, I ain't gonna do that again.
Right.
But I've also seen videos, let's say for instance, where a child drew on the wall and the fucking parent turned it into art and went on about their fucking business.
That's what we do. That's what we do in my house.
So it's like you're frustrated because you don't want to come home and deal. You already deal with the world. So now you got to come home and deal with this shit. Yeah. And that's why you whooping my ass. Or if I'm pouring milk on the floor or something. Yeah. So that's the one thing I will say I do not agree with. And you are correct. Yeah. And I told myself, I said, always be the gentle parent first. Yeah. Because you don't never want to put your child in a position where they fear the fuck out of you, where they can't come talk to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Somebody could touch your child. For sure. And because of a certain specific fear that they have in you, they will not come talk to you because they're going to think you're going to beat their ass.
For sure.
I never want my child to feel like that. But I also, going back to it, I do believe in a little pops here and there, discipline. But I don't believe in being no fucking child. That's crazy to me. You need to go to jail.
Okay, are there specific cultural or societal pressures that make generational trauma harder to break? I'm gonna start this one.
Yeah, I wanted you. I was about to ask you. Start it off, Big Sissy.
Cultural or societal pressures that make generational trauma harder to break. I think, and this is just me, watching my family, watching other families. Mm-hmm. Black people have a spirit of prosperity on them. Mm-hmm. Let me repeat that. Black people have a spirit of prosperity over them. Mm-hmm. We touch money.
Well, we are the chosen folks.
Black people touch money. We have a horrible relationship with money.
We do.
And when I think about a generational trauma, it is almost like a curse how much how illiterate we are to finances. Oof. And how we pass that down to our children. Yeah. And this is why whenever our kids touch money, they spend. Nobody's saving. Nobody's putting their money towards building their future and securing their children's future. And nobody's like really caring about setting themselves up. They're just caring about the now. And I think culturally, and societally, the pressure that's put on us is almost like, well, you're not going to live long, so spend it now. Or Black people have so many things that we find pleasures in because we live hard lives. Mm-hmm. We grow up poor, or we grow up, dealing with racism. We grow up dealing with just the stresses of life. We grow up in the hood. We grow up, not having a lot and just getting older and then being able to touch some money. We don't do right by it. And I think that's a generational trauma that's harder to break, because the habits that we learn as kids and seeing our parents and our aunties and our uncles do, wrong by their money, we then do wrong by our money, and then we teach our kids to do wrong by their money. And I really feel like when I hear stories about Black people and what they come across and what they spend, it makes me think, damn, imagine if you had saved that. Imagine if you had known how to flip that in the market. Imagine if you knew how to flip that into a business so that you could create other businesses that will then set your kids up to not have to work a 9 to 5. And that goes back
to the lack of education.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy, because when some of us do come across that, we don't want to teach anybody else because we have these crab in the barrel as mindsets. Yeah. And that's not all of us, of course. That's why when people try to talk down on a Jay-Z or a Beyonce, mm-hmm. because they're billionaires, or Rihanna's because they're billionaires, mm-hmm. it's like, nigga, why would I be mad at this billionaire because they got money? Because you talking about, you need to put this and this and that. First of all, how you gonna tell somebody else how to handle their motherfucking money? Right. You don't know what them people doing behind closed doors. And when you do find out what they're doing behind closed doors with their money, when they're trying to educate their communities, it's like, oh, that's all they donated. And it's like, bitch, okay, yeah, I gave 100K over here, but I also gave 100K over here. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at these foundations because people have so much to say, and then it's when you go do your own research, it's like, what you said ain't adding up to mm-hmm. what I'm looking at, what's presented. Yeah. So one of you motherfuckers lying. Yeah. But like I said, it goes back to the lack of education. And I think once we get out of that, once we start investing in trust funds, once we start investing in our communities and ourselves, a lot of that shit is going to change. Of course. Like, I don't know if you've seen, there has been, Black unions that's been building these. You okay?
Excuse me. Yes.
Oh, okay. That's been building these neighborhoods where they. Girl, I check on people. I don't care. Shit, you ain't finna know me. But that have been building these homes, these Black communities, and I love that, because it's like, invest in us. Yeah. No disrespect, motherfuckers been invested in them.
Yeah, for sure.
Invest in us.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I appreciate that. Yeah. But.
And we have the historical proof that if we pull our monies together, we already have everything else. We have the witty ideas. We have the capability to push those ideas. We have the talents to further those, you know what I mean, businesses and make, you know, those come to fruition. We just needed the monetary backing. Yeah. But the monetary backing comes from pulling together our resources and getting smarter with what we spend our money on and saving and getting, you know, just together as a community to be able to do what we need to do for our future.
I have a question for you. Do you feel like if we did come together, it will come to fruition? Or do you feel like we're still in the society right now where no matter what we do, they will just not allow it? Like, it's not going to happen because of that, because of the foundation that has been set for blacks through white supremacy shit.
Integration. Integration was the worst thing that could have fucking happened to black people.
Yeah.
Integration was the worst thing that could have happened to fucking black people, and I stand on that. I'll die on that hill, or I'll live on that hill.
You think I want to go to the movies and see white people?
That's funny.
The nigga that fucked it up for us to go to the movies and we gotta sit. I'm just playing.
I think that black folks really will have much more say in the world once we get much more capital in the world, once we pull our resources together, and once we don't need, you know, outside backing to further our businesses, and we never have. You know, yeah, we can talk about that all day, because I feel like that is the biggest generational trauma that we pass down to our kids, which is, like I said, the lack of knowing what to do with your finances and spending your money on stupid shit and thinking about now and not thinking about later, and thinking about pleasure and not thinking about need. Another societal pressure that I think makes generational trauma harder to break is this idea that and I've been waiting to talk about this, when your children reach a certain age, typically 18, because that's the age
putting them out the house.
Girl,
what's so crazy is I literally just had that conversation with someone. One thing I will say, white folks, y'all ate that. Is nepotism.
Yes!
Nepotism.
Yes!
They, and I'm not saying all of them, because I've heard some stories, but they set up a foundation where their kid can come back from college. They can stay with them for a year or two. Not only that, they put them in a position, they help them get a job, and then next thing you know, they're accumulating. Yeah. They're growing. Yeah. You already moved out your parents' house. Yeah. You got your apartment. You got your all these beautiful things. And it's like, I'll never forget turning 18, hearing about other 18-year-olds, and it's like, you're going off to college. Yeah, you need to figure something out because you can't come back here.
Ain't that crazy?
What?
Ain't that crazy? Bro, I think about, at my big ass age right now, 31, I think about how much I be going through life now, like, damn, I still don't know what the fuck to do, you know, or not, I don't know what to do, but like, still like, oh, I'm still learning so much. So I can remember at 18 years old, in my motherfucking, like, what do I want to do? Where am I going to go? And then feeling pressure from, you know, my grandmother to, like, get the fuck up and go and do something, but do it away from here. You know what I mean? Because at that age, now you're, like, looked at as, like, okay, you should be able to take care of yourself. And it's just like, wait, what? What the fuck? You know what I mean? I remember even being kicked out at...
It's like,
she kicked me out a couple times, you know, when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Just that mentality of, like, you know, you piss off your parent, you gotta go. Or, you know, things are getting tough here, you gotta go. You know, you're getting old enough to be able to take care of yourself, you gotta go. That is so crazy to me. And that's something that I see in black households more than anything, because you don't see no Hispanics telling their kids to get out. They will stay there forever. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's just a nigga thing.
Yeah.
We can get kids. That's crazy to me.
You know what else though? I don't necessarily believe in, which is it's crazy, because I just had a conversation with a friend, and once more I'm about to contradict myself, but because of my belief, I don't believe in also putting your child out the house because they're gay.
Because they're gay?
Yes.
Oh, of course not.
I don't believe in that. And I feel like I have to bring that up also because my friend educated me recently about the statistics about black kids being placed out of the house because they're gay. Yeah. Now, if you're bringing something that your parent told you not to do to their home, You got consequences.
Right.
But if you get the fuck out of my house,
yeah.
You know, I don't know. I just feel like I had to bring that in because I feel like
it happens. It happens. We black folk don't have a lot of, especially like the older generation, and that's obviously who raised us. Our mothers and grandmothers and grandfathers and uncles and shit, they weren't too keen on being gay. And I wouldn't even say being gay. I would say coming out as gay, because they were gay back then. People were gay. What they say. But they weren't coming out.
Tops. Talking about something, I wouldn't be. I say, them niggas
they weren't coming out though. We're much more bolder in coming out and saying, hey, this is what it is. But yeah, you kicking your child out because they are who they are is just unacceptable.
It goes back to what you said. It goes back to communicating. Now we're older. Yeah. So it goes back to, okay, you consider yourself gay. Okay, let's have a conversation. You are allowed to do what you do because you are your own person. These are the rules for my house, though. You cannot bring... And I feel like if there's a disconnect, okay, let's establish the next step. Yeah. Because, I'm not going to compromise what I believe in, but I'm not asking you to compromise what you believe in. Right. So let's come to a resolution. Yeah. And that should be the communication versus putting them the fuck out. Now, God forbid, but this is so many of the stories I've heard. Now I have to turn to people that I might not necessarily know. Yeah. Now that leads to prostitution. Yeah. Now you have set your child up to fail.
Yeah, for sure.
To fail. For sure. Because you have this big ass ego and they ain't finna go down and here. And it's like, what if you communicated like, hey, these are just my rules for my household? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But I think those rules are apparent or should be apparent whether your child is gay or straight. Obviously, if you, in your parents' house, and you're underage and you fucking, which you shouldn't be fucking.
You should be.
I said you shouldn't be.
Okay, baby. I was going to say, turn the cameras off.
No, you shouldn't be fucking. You shouldn't be bringing nobody to your parents' house. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just...
An 18-year-old, she just got kicked out because she bought somebody to the house.
Yeah, I don't remember kicking your kid out, but goddamn it, ain't no fucking going on in here. I just couldn't imagine. I got 2 girls. I wish the fuck. Hell no.
Bitch, I ain't even fucking. You ain't finna go home here fucking.
You ain't about to be up in this motherfucker. Like, you ain't about to be, hell no. That's a different conversation. But
that is, it definitely is.
Okay, question 4. Why do you think the mother-daughter relationship is often described as complicated?
Because... Now, all jokes aside, oh Lord. Do you believe that moms are sometimes their daughters' first bullies?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I only present that because, going back to the question, sometimes I feel like the mother feels like you have ruined her life, especially if
100%.
Especially if you are the firstborn.
100, and then... Oh God. I'm gonna just say for me in my situation, I've always felt like our relationship has been so strained because, like you said, in a way, almost like I ruined her life. Nobody sets out to have a child at the young ass age that she was. Yeah. She was very young. She was 14. Oh yeah. I can't even imagine at 14 I don't know what I would have done. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so in a lot of ways, children are a big responsibility. I'm 31 and my 2 children are like, they're making me grow up, even more than what I already was. And I've always been mature, but now I'm just like, it's heightened because I have 2 people that I'm responsible for that literally need me for every single solitary thing from the moment they wake up to the moment they go down to sleep. Yeah. So imagine having that responsibility at 14. So in a lot of ways, our relationship was just bound to be strained because of that. And then as I'm getting older, there are a lot of things that she notices in me that she could have been herself. And so I think sometimes that's when jealousy sets in because she's looking at who she could have been. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
Because, I am who I am because of me, but also because of my raising and the things that I saw and the things that I was like, I'm not going to do that. I am going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And so, you know, I was always going to be me, but I think obviously I carry a lot of my mother's DNA. There is a lot of my ways are also my mother's ways, but I'm like the better version of my mom. And so for her to see that, it's almost like embarrassing because she didn't reach those heights.
Woo! My God.
And that saddens her. I can only imagine.
That's insane. And what's crazy is, should I say this? I should. What's crazy is I feel exactly like that. I also feel like my mother looked at the simple fact that I had reached 25. I had no children.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
When I packed up everything and I was like, nigga, I'm going to LA. Niggas woke up. I was gone. I was driving. I was doing that 20-hour bid.
Yeah.
It was like
20-hour bid.
It was shit.
Yeah.
It's like, but why are you upset?
Yeah.
You set me up for success.
Yeah.
I'm going to go be successful.
Yeah.
So that I can make sure that when I return, everything that I touch is going to be just as successful as me, because I want to instill it and make sure that that's designed for my children when I do have some. You know what I'm saying? So I just never understood it. And it's like, you could have easily taken it where you looked at me like, you okay. There's certain things that I have missed out on my end, but I'm going to make sure my child doesn't miss out on these things.
Sure.
Now, I will say one thing about it. My mom put me and my brothers in a position to have passports before the age of 10. So we were traveling, we were doing all these great things, and I appreciate her for that. But it also goes back to, unfortunately, a lot of my insecurities about myself did come from comments from my mom. She would make little comments about my height. She would make little comments about my weight.
She
all
got
these
nerve
things.
She tall
Not
as
too
hell
fucking.
too.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying she's tall.
I thought you were about to call my mom a fat Kelly Price. We was gonna fight.
A fat Kelly Price is crazy.
She is tall.
Yeah, but she's tall.
I also felt like those little comments came from people shaming her for her height.
Yeah, for
people
sure.
were shaming her for her body. My mom was thick.
Yeah.
Still thick. But I guess it's like, how do we break that curse? Because it's definitely a curse.
Oh, it's definitely a curse.
I know the generation before her did her like that.
It's definitely a curse. I'm gonna tell you why it's a curse. As far as like my situation, so my mother had me at 14. Didn't raise me. Her mother had her at 14. Didn't raise her. It's for sure a curse, and it takes generational curse breakers. Because I remember being young thinking, won't be me.
Yeah.
And I was smart enough to know there's only one way I won't have a kid at 14.
Yeah.
I'm not about to be fucking. And I wasn't. I didn't lose my virginity until I got out of high school.
Period.
I was serious about that.
Yeah.
And you know, I had friends around me. Everybody was just living their life, doing their dough. But I remember being young thinking, not I set the duck. I won't be doing that.
On the same track. Bitches was trying to make you feel weird. Bitch, you ain't had no head.
Like,
No, freaky boots. I'm not. I'm over here reading Harry Potter books, bitch. The fuck? Damn, bitch, I'm over here thinking I'm a fucking Bratz doll, bitch.
No, for real.
No, I'm not
bitch,
doing
I'm over here
that.
writing poetry in Miss Fordham's class. Are you kidding me?
Bitch, I'm over here to be or not to be. That is the question. Like, no.
Hell no. So, you know, I recognize that it's a curse because it is something that has been showing up religiously in our lineage.
Yeah.
Definitely having kids young. Definitely then, you know, because you had a kid so young, the relationship is rocky from start. You spend a lot of years not raising that kid, then when you come back, you still are a kid yourself mentally because you never grew up.
Nigga
So
30,
it's just
you
like
16.
you know, child.
That shit crazy.
But we're breaking the curses.
We are.
We've
It's
broke
broken.
the curse. Yeah, we broke the curse.
It's broken.
I didn't have my first kid until I was 29.
Damn. I'm sorry.
So much. Okay, Kevin. I didn't have my first kid until I was 29. That was on purpose.
That's a beautiful purpose.
That was on purpose, and I knew I wanted to wait until I was old enough to be mature enough to handle the responsibility of children. Because, like I said, it is a responsibility, and you don't realize the extent of that until you have
and we
them.
want a phenomenal partner, no fucking
And
single mom.
Yeah,
Like,
you want a phenomenal partner. I just wasn't gonna be what I saw growing up, and I wasn't gonna experience an anger for my child the way that I felt like my mother had an anger for me.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot on her plate. And so, you know, she decided, hey, this is too much for me. So she gave me to my grandmother. But then I saw a lot of things broken in my grandmother, and I was like, damn, where does it end? What are some unspoken expectations mothers often place on their daughters and vice versa?
Oh.
I genuinely expectations.
Go ahead.
No, I was just repeating it.
I genuinely feel like the things that she desired in life that she couldn't accomplish, they're definitely placed on you.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's like, I feel like there's a way that you can communicate that to your child versus you need to be this and you need to be that and you need to do this and you need to do that. So it's like, we're going to always go back to communication.
Right.
What if you communicated with me the best things that I can present of myself?
Right.
Because you didn't get an opportunity to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That would have made me open up and be like, okay, well, what about this, mama? How would you do this? Like, there's certain conversations I don't even go to my mother about today because it's like, I feel like if I present this to you, I'm finna get chastised versus getting the information that I so came to I desire. You know, so there's certain specific conversations I don't have with my mom because it's like, I already know you, I already know your characteristics, I already know exactly what you're about to say, and it's going to put us in a circumstance of arguing versus coming to an understanding. Like, okay, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm grown now. There's nothing you can chastise me about. I've been under the sun.
You and your mom argue a lot?
We disagree a lot. Disagree a lot. Because I think parents have this whole mentality, oh, because I've had you, I know you. And it's like, I was away from you for 11 years. You don't know nothing about me.
Right.
You don't know nothing about me. There's certain things I purposely kept away from you because it was my experience to endure. Yeah. And I know if I would have told you, you wouldn't have understood.
Ooh, let's talk about that. And there are a lot of things that... Child... There are a lot of... Bitch, don't... You about to make me cry. There are a lot of things that they don't even know.
They don't know.
They don't even know. And I haven't spoken on it because I know that would make them feel worse than what they already feel in regards to the type of parent that they were. Yeah. So it's like, in a way, I'm like trying to still, in a sense, protect them from their lack of parenting, but not being open about the experiences that I experienced in regards to just a number of things.
Yeah.
Even and I know things that they don't even know I went through. Wouldn't even fathom I went through.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't. And I hope after this episode they don't ask me, what is it? Because I ain't telling them. You know what I mean? I'm not telling them.
My mama not gonna see this, baby. I was never here.
You stupid. I ain't gonna tell her because it's not. It's, you know, it happened.
Yeah.
Like you said, it was my experience to experience. I've already experienced what it looks like when I tell you something happened to me and you did nothing about it. I already experienced what it's like to tell you something and then I watch the little girl and you break down because you experienced that same thing. It's like, child, no, I feel like I have a responsibility to my mother and my grandmother to almost like protect them from feeling like horrible parents, even though, let's call a spade a spade.
No, baby.
You know what I mean?
Like, I understand you, but I'm like, I think that's the problem. We sugarcoat shit when we have to go ahead and just let it out.
Right.
Granted, it may bring out this big ass demon and they might not want to talk to you, but I look, I'm going to contradict myself again because it's like, that's why I don't have certain conversations with my mother. Because there was one time where she was dropping me off at the airport and I blew up on her. I said, I am a certain way specifically because of you. Right. And now I got to tear down this fucking tower. Right. I got to rebuild this shit starting from the fucking foundation again. And she always throws in my face, I love you, girl. She always throws in my face, you ain't nothing like me. And I'll be like, bro, thank God I'm not.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in the worst way. Yes, I do. I don't want to be like you.
Yeah.
I want to be able to put my. I'm not saying my mother didn't. Let me be more clear about that because she did. But the route you went it wasn't as appreciated as the route you could have went.
Yeah, for sure.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I appreciate her for certain aspects of making me who I am today.
Yeah.
But I know there was a better way to do it.
Yeah.
And coming up and hearing how her and my uncles was raised, I was like, that's what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
And it won't continue past me.
Yeah.
It won't continue past my fucking brothers.
Okay.
I love shout out to Tim. I love the way my brother is raising his boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's very specific. He's very precise. He, he steers away from whoopings unless it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, he don't beat my nephews.
It's not necessary.
It's necessary, baby. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care. I'm a product of a nigga that drowned the whole world. Sometimes it's necessary. Niggas be shit. Sometimes you gotta whoop niggas' asses, but don't beat your baby now. Don't be up here. Mm-hmm. But shit, that's a conversation for another day. How we slave mentality. Now I will say that definitely a slave mentality. But I do appreciate my mother for that, but I also appreciate myself for doing the work, and I think that's another thing with us. We don't like to do the work. Yeah. We look at therapy. I ain't going no motherfucking shrink, and it's like, why not? Yeah. It'll literally heal you. Why not?
Before I get up out of here, before I get up off this earth, I keep telling myself I need to book a therapy session for my entire family, for my grandma, for my mom, for my aunts, because baby, some shit needs to get resolved, and we need a mediator.
It needs to be talked about.
We need a mediator. That brings me to my next question: what role does communication play in shaping the bond between mother and daughter?
It's probably, I think, one of the biggest. It's huge from the simple fact of, but it's also, like I said, communication needs to come with understanding.
Yeah, for sure.
Just because you communicate don't mean a motherfucker understand you. And you need to make them understand. Right. You know what I'm saying? Comprehension. Yeah. Let's say communication is key. Comprehension is key. Because you can say something you like, I don't like how you did that. Well, why? Unfortunately for some people, that's not enough. Yeah. Why don't you like that person did that? Right. And if you explain that to them and let me tell you something. Saying, well, I'm sorry you feel like that is not an apology. Okay. I don't care what nobody say. Okay. It is not an apology. Right. You saying, I'm sorry that I did that to you, because you can't take away from somebody's feelings and how you did them. Like, bitch, this is my feelings. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You cannot agree, but it's still, like, at the end of the day, it's still something that happened to me, and this is my experience, unfortunately, with you. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? But communication is, like, one of the biggest, but comprehension is the biggest as well, because it's like, if I'm telling you, mama, certain things I saw you do is why now I'm 31. I have no children. Yeah, right. I have no children. Right. I don't want to have a child out of wedlock. I don't mean to tell your business, baby. I love you. I don't want to have a child out of wedlock. I want to be married. I want to be happy. I want to be with a man that loves me, which my dad does. They that's her boo bear. But I want that for myself. I don't want to always go to anger when something is not going my way. For sure. I don't want to have to work my ass off just because, I need to be in a room and be like, well, I worked my ass off to get here, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't want that for myself. Yeah. I don't want to be somebody that is at 50 still working. Granted, don't have to, but it just feels good because this is all I know. Yeah, right. I understand that. That's insane to me.
I understand that. So it's almost like that's where your validation lies.
Also, I don't want to be somebody that say things out of being hurt because
like retaliation.
Retaliation. I want to sting you more than you stung me. That's shitty behavior. Do that. I'd rather get the fuck away from you.
Period. The role that communication plays in shaping the bond between mother and daughter would really help the relationship if more communication was fostered, because I know back in the day, there was a period where me and my mom spoke like almost every day. This had to last like a month. And this was before I got pregnant, or right around when I got pregnant, my first pregnancy. Has to be before, because whatever. It has to be before. But I remember us talking a lot, and I was finding out a lot of things about her that I didn't know. Mind you, this is just communication.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about her childhood and, things that happened between her and my grandmother, things that happened between her and my grandmother's mother, things I never, like stories I never heard. And I remember thinking then, this is why you fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And then it had me thinking like, oh my God, like you were never going to be the mother I needed you to be.
Mm-hmm.
That is bringing me so much peace because now I'm accepting you for who you are. And I can try to love you where you're at.
Yeah.
But the problem that I be having is, a lot of the things that happened to me as a child and a lot of, our dynamic and how she didn't raise me and how she just gave me up and da-da-da-da. It makes me think, okay, I can forgive you for those things, but you never grew into your adulthood. You never grew into your maturity. You never got it right for me. And that's the problem that I'm having now. It's like, I can forgive you for the past things, but the current things that you're still doing, the way you are now,
I'm an
still
adult.
with me,
I don't have
it's
to.
like I don't have to, but also I would like to get to a better place with you, but it's still very just not on your radar to be a better parent. And the reality is until your kids die, you need to still parent them. You don't grow out of parenting, of parenthood. Your kid could be 40. You still need to be parenting them.
You know what's crazy? My mom.
They still need their mom. They still need their dad.
My mom, and she's not the only person I've heard say this because I seen it on social media. My mom has this idea now. She was like, "You're grown. I don't owe you nothing." I was like, "You owe me everything."
In a lot of ways, she owes you what she didn't give you.
You owe me what you didn't give me.
She
And
owes
it's
you
like
what she didn't give you.
It might sound stubborn or selfish, but I'm like, you owe me everything. We are still not, granted, do we get along? Yes, but getting along is not the same as loving each other properly. I don't care what you say.
For sure.
And I feel like a lot of things that we have went through in the past has not put me in a position to love my mother properly.
Yeah.
Because as children, there is a way to love your parents properly.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that's so crazy how you said that, because it's a lot of parents that's like, oh, being that I had you, I don't owe, and I've raised you, I don't owe you nothing. It's like, yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. Just like I owe you.
Yeah.
And that was another discussion too. It's like I think it was actually Cardi B that brought it up. She was being interviewed. Was it Jennifer Hudson's show? She was being interviewed, and she was like, you have to be there for your kids. You have to treat your kids with love and just honor your children from the simple fact of you want your children to take care of you.
Yeah.
When you're older. She said, she made a joke and she was like, you don't want to be placed in a home.
Yeah.
And I have seen circumstances or situations where people purposely place their parents in a shitty home because it's like, lack of a better term, bitch, fuck you. Or nigga, fuck. No, seriously. And I agree with Cardi B. It's like, you want your kids to take care of you because it's literally, it's going to reverse itself.
Yeah, for sure.
You're going to pass on one day.
Yeah.
And God forbid if your kids do before you.
Yeah.
You want them to be in a position where they can take care of you.
Yeah.
I owe you that.
Yeah.
I will say I owe my parents that.
Yeah.
To take care of you because of the foundation that you have laid for me. You have taken care of me.
Yeah.
So just like you owe me, I owe you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, am I obligated? No.
Yeah.
But I owe you.
I think if you love your parents and your parent loves you, which I have children, I don't love anybody the way that I love them.
Ooh, that's a different love, I know.
I do owe them, and I talk to my husband about this all the time. I owe them everything. I owe them my time. I owe them my growth. I owe them my maturity. I owe them to do right by myself so that they can benefit from how I set myself up, because in way of setting myself up, I'm setting them up. If there is a lot of communication that could bond mother-daughter relationships, if we would just have those conversations and if we would be open to taking accountability, because children are more understanding than parents give credit. And it's like, sometimes all I needed was an apology. Yeah. All I needed was for you to come and say, hey, this is what happened to me. I was not raised properly. I was not raised with love. That trickled over to how I raised you. And if you could, accept my apology, can we move forward? Da, 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 da. And a lot of times kids would be like, well, shit, okay, that's what I was waiting on. Because, you want to, be in a relationship with your parent. But these older generations, they could never
stubborn,
apologize to us.
They're stubborn.
Because they don't think they did anything wrong.
They don't think they did anything wrong.
When I tell my mom, like, when I be like, oh, and we don't talk a lot at all. I have such an estranged relationship with my mom. But in regards to my grandma, because she's who's raised me, when I be like, remember when this happened? And she'd be like, that didn't happen, or it wasn't like that, like how you trying to make it seem. I remember telling my mama, like, you used to, I remember one time her punching me in the chest. Mind you, I'm a little girl. I have titties. She punched me so hard in the chest, I flew into the wall. I said, Mom, you remember that? Girl, I didn't used to hit y'all like that. And me and my brother looking at her like
nigga, I don't want to experience it, nigga.
Like, but, to her, that wasn't abuse because my grandma used to fuck her, but worse.
Yeah.
So they have stories, like my aunties and my mom have stories of my grandma really fucking them up.
Yeah. And
so what she did to me, just punching me one time, that's not that bad. You know what I'm saying? And so, they first have to realize that, like I said, there is, abuse is subjective. If you feel like you was abused, the bitch, you was abused. You know what I'm saying? So you can't tell me what hurt my feelings, what I grew up with as trauma, the abandonment that I felt from being, given to, my grandmother. She gave me to my grandmother when I was 5. In her eyes, she's like, you had a better life than I had. You was raised, in a, still a loving environment. You wasn't with no crazy people. You was with, your grandma, da 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 da. And in my head, I'm thinking like, but I should have been with you. You had me. I should have been with you. It's as simple
as that. I should have been with you.
You know what I mean? So she's thinking, it's perspective. She's thinking, well, you weren't in no foster care, because she was in foster care. So she's thinking, well, I did right by you. And I'm thinking, no, like,
you didn't.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, there were so many different ways that you could have done that, because I have children now. I know how hard parenting is. This is why I'm like, if we could just open the lines of communication, I'd have a better relationship with my mom if she take accountability, because I'm okay with forgiving her. I'm okay with forgiving her. It's the shit now that I need you to fix. I can forgive you for the past. Fix the shit now. If you would, like I said, I have children. I know how hard parenting is, but never can I think to myself, well, somebody's going to have to raise my kids because it's just so hard. I can't do it. I couldn't even stomach that thought, because I can't breathe without my kids. But so in my head, I'm thinking, how was she able to breathe without me?
Here's my thing, though. I will say this, because I agree with you, but also you have to look at it like this too. And that's another thing too that we have to deal with when it comes to this. You have a supporter. You have somebody that's on the side of you. You have a husband.
Yeah.
And he, like you said earlier, he loves you correctly.
Yeah, for sure.
He takes care of you and your girl.
For sure.
He is a father. He is there. Granted, of course, she was 14, but she didn't have that.
Yeah.
But that's not an excuse.
It could have been an excuse then. It was an excuse then. I understand that. First of all, let's call a spade a spade. You shouldn't have been fucking at 14.
Yeah.
And the person that impregnated you
need their ass beat.
Let's, So in a lot of ways, no, it wasn't your fault. We could say you were fast and stuff like that, but she grew up very, very quickly. She had to. She didn't have the best mother. So there is a lot of things that she can excuse, and I'm there with her. I could be like, yeah, I understand that. But it also
comes back to what you said,
but also it comes back to communication.
You communicate that with me. My comprehension is okay. I understand that.
Yeah.
Mama, what do we do now?
What do we do now? How do we move forward? How do you show up for me for now? Because
so that I can show up for you.
But in real, old school mindset, very stubborn. She feel like she don't owe me shit. I don't gotta really explain nothing to you. I wasn't raised properly. At least you was at, with your grandma, but half of the shit that happened to you with your mom still happened to me with your mom.
Yeah.
That was the same woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I really just wish that people were able to take accountability and have those hard conversations and get into therapy with their parents. because a lot of things could be healed. But if they don't want to take accountability, it is what it is.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not up to you for them to take accountability. That's why I say
Right.
I love the whole, you have your traumas, you have these things that have happened to you in your life, but that does not put you in a position to be shitty, to be people,
Right.
to blame other people for it. Get
Right.
the help that you so desire,
Right.
get the help that you so need,
Right.
and
Right.
heal yourself. You
Right.
are a full functioning adult
For sure.
now. You don't even have to deal with that trauma anymore if
For
you don't
sure.
want to.
For
you know what I'm
sure.
saying?
Right.
So
how does trauma impact the way that you build trust in relationships now? Like in your
Oof.
intimate relationships with your friends, like
I'm very specific now.
Yeah.
I'm like I said, woo, baby. The title of this one needs to be communication and comprehension is key. Because communication, my trauma has put me in a position to communicate. I don't like this. I don't appreciate this. Because I want, how I do that to people, I want people to do that same thing to me. Like, be open about exactly how you're feeling, what you're feeling, and be very transparent.
So do you do that with your mother? So
No.
if you do, right. I was gonna
Well, okay,
say.
hold on. Here's the thing. On certain topics, I do, like, if it's just something that I can't fucking go past, yes, we're going to discuss it. I don't care what you say, how you feel, how you come at me. But I'm also in a position now, when I was younger, no. But now, I ain't got no problem saying it because
I can say it and go home.
I can say it. I can say that shit
go
and
home.
Baby, let me tell you something.
Right.
Recently,
Right.
mind you, I love you, girl. Her and my dad invited me over. They was like, come over for brunch. She cooked. Woo, woo, woo. I stayed, but I ended up staying where she cooked later that night. And granted, I quit my job because I was unhappy. I was depressed. And but God has been blessing me. I've been working. I can't say, but y'all gonna see me in some movies, and some TV shows.
Period.
But so I was like, well, if God is continuously blessing me through my craft, there's no reason for me to have a 9-to-5.
Yeah.
But I have different
Streams of
sources of income. Yes. And so her and my dad, they have this thing, and I know they mean well, but parents, if you're not working with Tyler Perry, you ain't working until I'm telling the truth, until they see it.
Yeah.
They see it. So my mom has seen me on HBO Max. She's seen me on these things. She's like, okay, bitch, you okay, but I'm like, you know me, since I was a kid, I have been an entertainer. This is my life. This is what I want to do. So going back to the circumstance, I spent the night over there, and I woke up, and she basically was telling me, can I move my car back so it won't be blocking her mailbox? Because our mailman in Texas, he lazy. He don't like to get out. So if this nigga, the mailbox will be right here, he'll be right here. He won't get out. He needs to pull in.
Yeah. Okay,
so I was going out there to go move the car. I moved it back, and then she was like, oh, that's not far enough. I was like, well, mama, he can just pull it. Okay, well, figure it out. Or you need to go. You need to be up there looking for a fucking job anyway, because I don't even know why you still here. And I was like, wait, what? Y'all niggas invited me over. The first thing I did is say, and I kid you, I said, time to go. Went in there, got my stuff. Yeah, go on ahead. Get up out of here. But I knew it wasn't even on me. It was something that was happening in her job because she was at work, and I knew it was a frustration with whatever was going on because I had already heard her in a heated meeting. So it's like, you're in a position now, you don't have to deal with that shit. You can get the fuck on. And that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, for sure.
I got the fuck on. I have a house to go to. I'm also an adult now. You're not going to talk to me reckless. You're not going to talk to me stupid.
Right.
You also taught me, hey, don't let nobody bully you. So now that I'm old enough, my first bully, you're not for to bully me no more.
Yeah, right.
It's going to create animosity, but it's like, I want you to see the young lady that you did raise, and where there's some good parts of me, but there's also some bad parts of me.
Yeah.
And I'd rather get the hell on before we even come to type of blows.
Yeah, for
and that's
sure.
what I've been doing lately. I don't have to deal with it.
I ain't gonna lie. That independence, they hate that. They hate that. They hate the independence.
But it's also...
I'm more independent in my mother's eyes than I am in my grandmother's eyes. I ain't gonna lie. I still need my grandma for a lot of stuff.
Aww.
And, because she raised me, and I have a lot of trauma with her, but we're still closer than I am to my mother. But I've recognized that me not needing my mother pisses my mother off. And then it really pisses her off that I still gravitate to my grandmother.
Yeah.
which is so crazy to me because I'm like, well, wouldn't you want me to be independent? You know, I moved out when I was 18.
You had no choice.
Well, no, I had a choice.
You had a choice, okay.
I had a choice, but I didn't have a choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was still one of those like underlying, like, you know, you're old enough to take care of yourself, go do it. You know what I mean? But I've always been independent, but they raised me that way.
Yeah.
I didn't just magically become this.
And that's another thing too. But it goes back to what you say. We have to also be in a position where Black folks, we should be able to depend on each other. That whole independent thing sucks.
And
especially
it's unrealistic.
It is.
It's unrealistic.
How the fuck am I independent at 18? Bitch, I just got to an age where I can go to jail. Bitch, I'm not independent. I'm still making certain specific decisions and trying to avoid jail. Shit.
Right.
But
we're gonna hit our last two questions.
Okay.
I feel like this has been cool. We ain't crying nothing.
I said that.
But you know what? But you know what?
I
ain't get too deep on purpose.
On purpose.
Because I didn't want to tell too much of my story.
I didn't want to tell too much.
I
don't know if you noticed. I was avoiding.
No, I
was avoiding.
And you know, I can read the room. So I was like, certain questions on here I know I'm not going to ask because I don't want to dive too deep. Mm-hmm. Because like I said, there is a lot of understanding that children have that parents don't give recognition to. And a lot of the things that bothered me growing up, a lot of the traumas that I have with her, I'm still in protection mode. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, I can get on my mama's top, but I don't want y'all to get on my mama's top.
Yeah.
And I don't want y'all to not too fucking much on my mama, which is so crazy. That's such a it's a complex. There's a name for it. I just can't think of it. But it's like your abuser then becomes the person that you try to protect. You try to make sure is right and you try to make sure it's okay. It's a warped mentality.
Not Stock syndrome. What is that?
Is it Stockholm syndrome?
Is that?
Yeah, it is. Okay. It's Stockholm syndrome. So how do you deal with the feeling of guilt as a daughter? I know for me, I feel really guilty about who my mom could have been had she not had kids. And so sometimes I feel, bitch, you didn't tell me I'm about to cry the last 5 minutes of the show. I feel really guilty, like thinking like.
Go ahead. It's okay.
No, you answer.
No, nigga, go ahead. You already started, fool.
I feel really guilty thinking like, you know, my mom has such a boldness about her. Mm-hmm. My grandmother always tells me, ooh, you and your mama just say what y'all want. First thing that come to mind. You know, I get that from her. Yeah. You know, it's a lot of, I wasn't raised by her, but nurture is a motherfucker. DNA is a motherfucker. A lot of the ways that I am, it's my mom. My loudness, my mom. Me not being scared of nobody, my mom. Like, my mom is a fighter. My mama grew up fighting. Mm-hmm. Nobody tries her. You know what I mean? And that's on purpose. She just has this energy like, yeah, I'm not the one to play with. I have that. You know, the speaking ability, I have that. The praying ability, I have that. And so I think about her persuasiveness, I have that. I think had I not been born, would she have come into who she was supposed to be had she not had the responsibility of children? And had she not, like, because, you know, she gave us up. So we, you know, I went to my grandmother, my brother went to his dad's. But still every day trying to get her life together so she can come back and get her kids, I think weighed on her. And so she did get rich quick schemes. A lot of them. My mom is a hustler, so she's going to get her money by any means necessary. She did a lot of illegal things. She did a lot of things that she needed to do to get herself where she needed to be. But I think without kids, she probably would have went further. Mm-hmm. You know, and I feel guilty about that because here I am fucking flourishing and I'm not even talking about like in my career because I'm not where I'm going to be at all, not even close. I'm talking about mentally, my maturity, me already being married. I have 2 kids. I'm 31. I have a very healthy relationship. A lot of people can't say that at 51. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm really blessed. And then like, she's just still the same person she's always been since I was a kid. Stuck, struggling, and just like didn't grow up. You know? And it makes me think I have 2 kids. I haven't performed in all the years that I've had them, right? So when I was pregnant at 28, I hadn't performed since then. Mm-hmm. I think about how much how stagnant I had become as a mother because life with children, will keep you busy with your children and not busy with the shit that you would want to do for yourself. So like, I deal with that guilt. Let's wrap this shit up. What you deal with?
Ooh.
Is it the same thing that I deal with?
In a way, yes. I genuinely feel like if my mother would have, like, not necessarily not had kids, but had me at a later age, I think it would have changed a lot of things for her. Yeah. But I also feel like I genuinely feel like if my mother would have been introduced to therapy, a lot of things would have changed.
For sure.
Because nowadays, I'll never forget, we discussed last year where she asked me and my brothers in the group chat, and she was like, have any of y'all ever been suicidal or dealt with depression? My mother has never brought that shit up. Wow. If it ever comes up, it's, that shit don't exist. Yeah. But there was a reason why she asked us that, because unfortunately, my mother last year was recently diagnosed with Crohn's disease. Oh, okay. She is dealing with it with the best way she knows how, but she's healthy. Mm-hmm. She's healthy. One thing my mom gonna do is be healthy. Yeah. And I was like, okay, let me educate myself a little bit more on Crohn's disease, and I did. And I was like, okay, it's not a terminal illness, thank God. Because one thing he gonna do, he gonna give you a terminal illness and you don't get your shit together. But he really will.
That's facts.
But I think if therapy was introduced, going back to her asking us about depression and everything, and I was like, well, why, mama? And why are you asking us this? Because she was like, my doctor brought it up and I just wanted to ask my kids. And then my brothers, they started discussing with her the things that they have been through and, their depression. And then I asked her, I said, well, mama, have you? And she was like, no. And I said, I know for a fact you did. Yeah. When my uncle passed on, which was her other half, my mother was depressed. Yeah. I genuinely think nowadays my mother still is. Yeah. How she brings up my uncle in conversations. Yeah. How she's like, damn, I wish my brother was here. Mm-hmm. And it's been almost 4 years because he passed October 2nd of 2021. I know for a fact my mother went through her depression. Mm-hmm. But people from their generation, they don't like that word. Yeah, for sure. Because when you say that word, you have to deal with it.
Not only they don't want to deal with it. It sounds like a spirit. Mm-hmm. It sounds demonic to them. And what do you do with the demonic spirit? You cast it out and you go on about your day. Yeah. This is how they're thinking. Yeah. But we know depression to be so much more than that now.
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, we can call it a spirit.
Small things can literally trigger it.
Also, we got to recognize that sometimes depression allows us to open ourselves up to vulnerability, which opens ourselves up to communication, which opens ourselves up to healing. So is it really demonic? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to think about shit like that. Or does it put you in a process to heal?
With a peaceful fucking life.
Right.
With being able to go into a room and like, that would have made me angry, but I'm not even going to respond to that. It doesn't deserve that from me.
For sure.
So, but I that is one of the key things that I do kind of feel guilty for. Mm-hmm. I also feel guilty for my mom feeling not like she wasn't able to be a kid because my mother lost her mother at a very young age. Mm-hmm. So she didn't really grow up with her mother. She grew up with her aunties and her uncles, and they weren't always the best people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So. Last question. What's something you wish you could say to your mom more often?
I love you. I see you. I think I do say all of this to you. I just don't think you receive it the way that you should, but I love you. I honor you. I adore you. You might not believe it, but you are genuinely one of my superheroes. You genuinely are one of my superheroes. And I always want you to know that I know you wasn't always the best parent, but you, if anything, were always one of my greatest professors.
Oh, that's deep. Yeah. I'll tell mine to get some miracle drops for her head.
Bitch.
No, just no, I'm just kidding. I know one thing I would tell my mom if she was able to hear it and not manipulate me with it. This happens. I am sorry about all the things that happened to her growing up.
Same.
And how nobody rectified it for her.
Yeah.
And everybody treated her like she was fast, or things were her fault, or getting pregnant was just her fault.
Oof.
And, not having the tools equipped to raise her children was her fault. When at 14, you got to think about it. You're at the disposal of your parent. So if they're not doing right by you, if they're not teaching you, if they're not keeping you close, if they're not steering you and you go astray at 14, that is your fault. Now, when you reach adulthood, that's your own mess. You clean up your own shit. But at 14, if you're supposed to be being steered and you're not steered correctly, who does the blame fall under or, fall on? And, I just really want her to know that, the child in her deserved better. And then, I would apologize profusely on behalf of my grandmother, because the nerve of her to have kids fuck them up and then be better for us. You know what I mean?
That's insane.
For her grandchildren.
Because I feel like that with my mom, with my nephews. My mother is probably one of the most prominent people in my nephew's life, which is gorgeous, which is beautiful. Gorgeous,
but it's not healing. I know some people say, I saw this girl on social media say, watching my mother with my child is healing the little girl in me. And I remember telling my cousin, I'm like, it's not healing. Watching my grandmother with my children is actually not healing me. It's pissing me off. Because the nerve of you to be so protective of them.
Yeah.
So in their face. So like... You know what I'm gonna tell this little story.
You know where it comes from. You know where it comes from. It's the things that they saw that you have now communicated with them, and it's like they don't want to address it because they know it's gonna open the door to addressing a lot of whole other shit.
Yeah. So then they be better.
So they're trying to be better, but it's like
you needed to be better with me.
You still need to heal.
I remember one night I was bathing my daughter and I used the wrong soap. I used the wrong soap. I used my soap instead of her baby soap. And this was just me moving fast. A couple hours later, I see my baby and I'm like, what the hell wrong with you? Mind you, I'm the only person at the house. The only person at the house. And so I, look and I'm like, oh, she has a big, rash very quickly. You know how the soap that's not, it'll fuck us up.
Yeah.
And she's a little girl. And so I call my grandma, like, I need to take her to the hospital. Could you come over here and watch the little one? And I tell her what's wrong. And she immediately starts crying. And she's like, I'm on my way. So then my auntie comes upstairs. She's like, girl, what soap did you use? And then we realized that's what it was. And she was like, girl, put some Aquaphor on that. Close her up. It'll be cool in the morning. And it was. She calls my grandma. She's like, you don't have to come over here. I've already helped her out. So she's on the phone crying. And so my auntie says, girl, what the fuck are you crying about? She was like, it just brought me back to a place.
She thought somebody harmed
She thought somebody harmed my baby. But she was so quick to come and rectify it for my baby. But when I was young,
ooh, Lord, girl,
and I brought it to her and said, this is what this person did to me.
Yeah. Ooh, blacks.
So
because we won't go into specific details.
Yeah, we not in.
But let me tell you, it was the same thing, and I gotta. Well, what you telling me for? That shit is insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane. So,
but we gotta end the show. We gotta do a part two.
We do.
We gotta do a part two.
We do. The owner looking at us like he finna whoop our ass.
Oh God. Let's go ahead and wrap this up, Sunnii.
Okay.
Sunnii Tria.
Why do you love my name so much? I
appreciate that so much. I appreciate you being here for the second time. This has been Podcast 1001. I am your girl, Black Shin. This is your favorite poet's favorite poet. You can go and order my book on www.blackshinpoetry.com. I also have my sweatshirts on there, my beautiful sweatshirts, and I also make my own body butter. Did you know that?
No, nigga, but I'm for the body it. Where is it at? I
make my own body butter. I put it on my children. I put it on my husband's hair.
That ain't what gave the baby girl the rash, right?
Sunnii, please stop playing with me. All of your needs are met on my website. We're gonna see you back here next week for episode 6. This is Podcast 1001. I'll see y'all soon.
We'll never play. Ain't got time for the games after the pavement.